Hey everyone, a splendid Saturday for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere with me, and a fantastic Friday for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere. My hair is being a bit funny, so we'll see how we go. I think I parted a bit too much today. Anyway, I would love for you, as you jump onto tonight's session, let me know where you are tuning in from, whether you are tuning in from Australia, New Zealand, America, the UK. So, let's see if I can fix my hair a little bit. Has a mind of its own today. So, do you ask for help, or do you try and figure things out for yourself? Now, sometimes it can be good to try and figure things out for yourself. Other times it can lead to stress and overwhelm, especially when you don't know how to figure out how to get out of the situation. So when it comes to asking for help, people tend to think that if they ask for help, it means that they're a failure. It means that they're stupid. It means that they, haven't done the right things. People judge themselves way too harshly when it comes to asking for help. Now, when you were a child, you asked every question under the sun. You nagged your parents, and if you're a mum or you're a dad, your kids are nagging you. They ask you a question, and you answer, and they're like, "Why?" And you answer, "Why?" And you answer, "Why?" They're so curious, and they want to know everything. They're really happy. Children are really happy to admit they don't know everything. And there comes a point where they think they do know everything. But I wonder, when do you stop going from that childlike curiosity and being willing to ask every question under the sun to, I can't ask for help, I need to figure it out for myself? Now, for me, I know the things that I know, and the things that I don't know, I get help with. So yesterday I was speaking to my stepmom, and I'm like, right, we need to figure out my budget. It's stressing me out. Money should be beautiful. Money is a wonderful thing, and I need to make sure that I'm having an incredibly beautiful relationship with the money that I receive. So today my stepmom helped me to figure out my budget, where money's going towards and the exact amount that's going in each area. And now having a really specific, knuckled down budget, I feel really happy going into the next fortnight, knowing that all my bills are paid for, everything is taken care of, and I have money to pay for the other things that happen here and there. And it's okay to ask for help when it comes to your finances. It's okay to not know how to budget. It's okay to not know, hey Hayley, it is okay to not know how to make sure that the money coming in covers everything that goes out and that it balances, because it can be so easy that money comes in, money goes out, and you don't get anywhere. So sitting down with someone that knows how to work a budget, sitting down with someone that knows these things are non-negotiables, these can wait, really does help you to make sure that you relieve one stress in your life. When you are trying to focus on everything, when you are trying to have all the answers to all the questions, you will get so stressed. You will get so overwhelmed. You will not sleep. You will be exhausted. Your skin will change. You'll have crazy breakouts. You'll be angry and moody. You'll snap at everyone. You'll have such a short fuse. And you'll get to the point that you don't know what's wrong with you because people will be like, what's wrong? And you're like, I don't know what's wrong. And what's wrong is that you're trying to have all the answers to all the questions. You're trying to know everything because you think that if you outsource, you think if you ask for help, that you have somehow failed as a person. Like if you can't be a working woman, like if you can't have the job and take care of the kids, like you're just a failure. But what if you can outsource and you can ask for help and you can find that balance in the chaos? Because life is chaotic. There's always going to be spanners that get thrown into the works. But the key thing is that it's okay to ask for help. It is okay to seek out the person or the people that know more than you do. Yeah, it is so important. So it's okay to own what you know. You're not stupid. You're not an idiot. You do know a lot of things, but it's okay to not know everything. I don't know everything, and honestly, I don't want to know everything. I don't want to have stuff packed in my brain. I love outsourcing to people. I don't want to be the doctor who knows all the answers to medical questions. Go see a doctor. I don't want to know all the legal questions and ins and outs. Go and see a lawyer. I want to be focused on what I know. I want to be focused on what makes me happy and what brings me joy and what I can contribute to the world and what I can contribute to my life. And that's what it's all about when you ask for help. Asking for help allows you to be the best version of yourself. Asking for help allows you to live the kick-ass life. Asking for help allows you to live life on your terms. Hey, SJ. So, what areas can you ask for help? Well, if there's something in the house that's not working, you call the electrician, or you call the plumber, or you call the handyman. I'm certainly not doing any of the repairs around my house. Hey, Trina. If you're not tech savvy, find someone who loves technology. I'm watching a show on Netflix, Emily in Paris, and Emily is like a marketing guru in America, and she's been sent to a marketing company in Paris. I'm fantastic, SJ. And she doesn't speak French, and the whole company's against her, but she's got some really good ideas. And she finds that she can connect with two beautiful women in Paris that they speak English really well and they speak French really well. And they teach her the ways of, communicating. There's a lot of words that you think that is, how it sounds. You think, loosely translated into English. No, not at all. Emily pronounces a couple of words and she's saying the completely wrong thing, she's being rude or insulting or inappropriate or doesn't even have the correct context. So, she asks for help. She asks the people who can speak English and French to help and translate for her. And she owns that. She owns that she doesn't speak French. She owns that she's trying to learn and that she's doing her best. And that's okay. It's okay to ask for help. When you're a new mum, like you've had your first kid, do you seriously know what you're doing? The day I have a kid, I'm going to be freaking out. I'll be calling my stepmom like every 5 seconds. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? It's okay to not know everything. It is okay to ask for help. You may not be really savvy with the Facebook world or Instagram. I'm not savvy with Canva. Like, everyone's using Canva and I'm like, what is Canva? It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not know everything. But really do take ownership and pride in the things that you do know. Like, if you were to sit down with me and have a conversation about movies or take me to trivia night about movies, I've got a good chance of winning when it comes to movies and genre. Asking me about geography, I can't help you with geography. Oh, thanks, Ashday. Well, I've helped my stepmom raise my little brother, so, he's well prepared me for craziness. Hey, Anthony. So it's okay to ask for help. It is okay to know what you know, but it's also okay to not know what you know. I am a great cook. I'm not a great baker. So if I want something sweet, I'm going to a patisserie. Or I just get Matt's mum to cook me something sweet because she's a baker. There is nothing wrong with outsourcing to other people. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. I know when I was little, one of our family friends, any party, she always bought a platter of the beautiful little sandwiches. It was you always knew that Auntie Pat was coming to the party with sandwiches. And my stepmom, Christmas, we are not allowed at Christmas unless we are bringing cauliflower bake. Like, it's a non-negotiable. If my stepmom hasn't made cauliflower bake, she might as well stay at home. It's just that thing. Yeah, I love to cook, SJ, but I can't bake to save myself. I've tried. I've had a couple of successes, but mostly failures. But I own that. I'll cook all the dinners and someone else can do dessert. Because there are people out there that love to bake. And that's okay. There is nothing wrong with asking someone else to do things for you. There is nothing wrong with going to a hairdresser instead of trying to do your own hair. There is nothing wrong with going to a travel agent and asking for help. Except if you're doing our overseas trip and then no travel agent would help us with our trip because it's way too involved. Even my brother, he spent 10 hours trying to figure it out. He's like, oh my God, this trip is exhausting me. And I'm like, we haven't even gone yet. So it's okay to ask for help. Like, my stepmom is so involved in our America trip. She's been working out things. She's been figuring out the way that we're driving and the accommodation that we're staying in. Like, we asked for help. All of the work that my stepmom and my brother have done for the overseas trip, I'm just like, no way would I have been able to do that. No way. I would not have had a clue at all. And they're just like, so for you to live your best life, for you to be the best version of yourself, it's okay to outsource and ask for help. You're not weak. You're not a failure. You're not a loser. You're actually awesome. And you're actually incredible because you are aware of what you know. You're aware of what you're capable of. And you have the self-confidence and you have the self-esteem to reach out and ask for help And that makes you a pretty awesome person in my books. Just saying. So if you've been sitting there and you've been trying to do everything on your own, you've been trying to figure out how to do everything, and you are running around in circles and you're not getting anywhere, this is your permission to outsource. This is your permission to ask for help. And it's not always calling someone. You know, YouTube is so brilliant. You type a question into YouTube and you'll get an answer. You type a question into the Google search engine, you will get help. And what can happen is you could be having a conversation with someone. Like, I'll be having random conversations with my stepmom and she has the answers. Sometimes my stepmom's almost my Google engine. And if my stepmom doesn't know, guess what? My stepdad knows a lot of stuff too, because my stepdad loves Google surfing. My stepdad loves YouTube surfing. He is obsessed. That's how my stepdad chills out after work. He surfs on YouTube. You'll be sitting in the kitchen and all you hear is laughing, tummy roaring laughing, and we're like, what are you watching? And it's so funny, he can't even tell you what he's watching. But that's what you do. You ask for help. I have learnt so many things watching documentaries on Netflix. Like tidying my house, I learnt so much from watching The Home Edit on Netflix and watching The Art of Tidying with Marie Kondo on Netflix. I learned so much from documentaries and shows on Netflix. So you don't always have to be calling someone, but know that there are people out there that are willing and prepared to answer your questions, and that there are ways that you can outsource and get things done. There are ways that you can work and have an incredible family life. There are ways that you can be an incredible partner, an incredible parent, and live an amazing life. You don't have to be stressed. You don't have to be overwhelmed. And you don't have to do it all by yourself. Okay? I really want you to receive that you have permission to not do it all on your own. It's okay. You don't have to do life alone. Last night, I was watching Enola Holmes. And Enola, backwards, is alone. And throughout the story, Enola feels like she's alone. But throughout the story, you see that she's not alone. She had to see things from a different perspective to realize that she has lots of incredible people and resources to tap into. So, what things have you been trying to do that are overwhelming you, that you would love to know how to get out of that? How, what can you do to alleviate that stress? What can you do to alleviate that overwhelm? For me, it was sitting down with my stepmom and working out my budget and being like, okay, do I do light and easy? Do I cook for myself? Da, 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 da. And, my stepmom, she worked out my menu and, she's an incredible cook. She's taught me so much. And she's like, okay, well, for breakfast, are you happy to have this? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, morning tea, are you happy to have these things? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, lunch, are you happy to have these things? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, afternoon tea, are you happy to have these things? And I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, dinner, are you happy to have these things? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, so we'll, go through your pantry, go through your fridge and freezer and see all of the shopping ingredients you already have. And then we do your shopping list for what you need to buy. And I already knew all of these things. I knew that you look through your pantry and your fridge and freezer to put together your shopping list. But I just couldn't figure out, okay, I know I need to have breakfast. I know I need to have lunch. I know I need to have dinner. I know I need to have snacks. I'm the kind of person that could eat the same thing a couple of days in a row. I want to be really budget savvy. Hey, Emma, but how do I do that? So my stepmom gave me the clarity and the focus and the direction. She really helped me to nut out and unscramble my ideas, because sometimes that's what can happen. You have all of the solutions in your head. You really do know the solution to your problem, but sometimes you need someone else to unscramble everything and make everything make sense. And that's okay. That's the beauty of asking for help. And sometimes asking for help is about validating that you were already on the right track in the first place. And sometimes you might think that your path is winky wonky, but when someone else gives you focus and clarity and direction, you actually kind of knew what you were doing. You just needed someone to nut it down just a little bit more, just focus you a little bit more. And that's all I needed. I know what kind of foods are healthy and good for me to eat. I know what complex carbohydrate foods are. I know what good fat foods are. I know what good protein foods are. But it's bringing everything together so that it works within a budget, because I want to make sure that I'm on top of all my bills, I'm on top of all my expenses, and that I'm actually getting somewhere. I don't want to be going round in circles, not getting anywhere. I want to actually be working towards something. So asking for help allows you to stop running around in circles and actually get somewhere. So I really want you to think about what things are actually bothering you at the moment, because you really do know what's bothering you at the moment. And sometimes you might need to write it all out to really nut it out and really figure out what's bothering you. Because it could be simple things like, I feel like I'm failing as a mum. I feel like my kid's gonna grow up and hate me. Well, no. Get someone else to give you focus and clarity and direction. Because when someone gives you focus, clarity, and direction, you might figure out you're actually doing a pretty okay job as a mum or a dad. And you're actually not going to screw up your kid's life. You're actually doing a pretty okay job. And you just need to nut out a few little things so that, everything's running smoothly. Because it just could be that one wheel's just off a little bit. But as soon as you get that focus and that clarity and that direction, that wheels, they're in motion, and you have just got everything working for you. So, I want you to really be proud of the things that you know, accept that you don't have to know everything, accept that it's okay to ask for help, and that you're actually doing a pretty okay job right now. Yeah? I want to thank you so much for joining me for tonight's session. For some of you, your day is just starting. So I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. I always hope that you get value out of our time together and that you're able to apply what I share. As you know, I never pre-plan the next day's sessions, so I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow night's session or seeing you tomorrow morning in our Power Talk meditation. Have a splendid Saturday night for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere with me, and have a splendid Saturday morning for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere. As always, be safe, be well, much love.